What's up, YouTube? Hope everyone is doing fine. Mm, 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 mm. What's up, good? I doing that. Project X is a bit laggy today. What can I do? Let me see. Having a hard time just loading up the charts, and we're just 1 minute away. And I don't like that. Let me see. But I can see the charts on the 1 minute chart on my actual trading screen. So So right now I'm just looking at the range in between that was created at 8:30 and the high that was created 4 minutes ago. Even though you guys can see the charts, that's the range I'm looking at. But that low that I mentioned on Tuesday, that absolutely was the market maker buy model on the daily chart. Mm, I don't know why, but Project X is very laggy. But I'm looking on at the 1 minute chart on my other screen. So it's not that I am away from the charts. Godly. Okay. So I'm really interested in it. So the range in between the low that was created at 8:30 and the high that was created at 9:30, in between that range, I'm looking for us to just drop down to discount and keep moving higher towards a new all-time high. Just looking at the 1 minute chart, that's what I'm seeing. Even looking at the higher time frames, okay, very laggy, but it just opened up. That's nice. Okay, so we're right on the 1 minute chart, but since we have expanded so much higher throughout the day, I really don't need so much from price to see where it is trying to go right now. I'm just going to stick with a bullish bias just for now, and see how the next 15 minutes go. Give me a second. Mm, 10 o'clock is right there. So really what I'm really actually interested in is this range in here, from that high, from this low to this high. Since we are above this accumulation, the low of the accumulation was taken down here, all this accumulation. And we're in so much premium. And what did we do? The daily inversion fair value gap, we have closed above it, where we have also taken the previous week's high. So I'm going to go to the weekly chart now and mark out the 10 guided TGIF model, which is the 10 guided Friday, and look for a 20 to 30% retracement of the weekly range. Okay, so right at discount, what else do we have? We have got this fair value gap in here. So I'm just going to mark that. Really like, okay, what I'm really loving here is the fact that at 8:30, what did we do? We jumped above this high. What does that mean? If price wants to reach back into this range and this low down here, it can just go lower from this high. Why? Because it took the daily high, is the high of the day was created at 8:30. Okay. Mm, 5 minutes. Yeah, it's very laggy. Jesus Christ. I really didn't want to jump into the higher time frames. Okay, nice. We can use the other tabs in here today. Okay, we have Jesus Christ. Okay. From this low to this high, that is a huge expansion. We have just been moving higher since yesterday's AM session. So this is a lot of range. Price might want to retrace back into the range in the AM session going forward, but I'm not going to call on that just yet. What I want to do now is look at the weekly chart and mark out the TGIF mode. So what would that be? Wait a minute, what is this? Okay, week. So in here, this is so how you mark out the TGIF is you mark out the whole range of the day, the week on the weekly chart, and then on the Fibonacci you go to uh 0.3 and zero point 0.2. So within, price could retrace back into this range if it wants. This is TGIF in here. TGIF. Why is it not marking it here? It's not bringing it on the 1 minute chart. Intervals and below. I'm going to need to mark it out individually on the 1 minute chart as well. There to there. If price wants to keep on moving lower, it could come back into here. This is the TGIF range down here. So what am I looking for? Once it reaches into this discount price, if it wants to go higher, it shouldn't go lower than this. But if it shows me that it wants to go through this, that means it is trying to rebalance into the 20% to 30% range of the weekly expansion, which is down here. Uh, The other thing I want is to look at. So this is, by the way, how I journal my trades. Normally, this is how I journal yesterday's trade. I have the screenshots here, but I have it also on Notion. I'll make a video on that if you guys want to see how I do that. Okay, what do I want? I'm gonna go to 4 hour chart. Okay, that 23.96. That 23.96. Nope. What I'm trying to see right now is see the new week opening gaps. 766, 797. Hmm. Okay, that's a bit weird. How do I mess that up? August 15. So I'm gonna go to August 15 and see the new week opening gap that was created in there on Project X because really they're kind of tricky looking at the new week opening gaps. Sometimes you don't know which one to use. They get tricky, but speaking to the ones that you can obviously see is the better one than using indicators. August 15. Okay, we're in August 15 to 17. 15. So there's a new opening gap right in here. This is the close. This is the open. Okay, so see that reaction? Isn't that just beautiful? This reaction down in here, how price moved higher, took all these highs, reached back. What is that? From this low to this high. Oh, I thought that was discount, but it's reached back into the new week opening gap, bounced off it. And what did we get on the 1 minute chart? A closure above the new week opening, the daily inversion fair value gap that I have been blubbing about throughout the whole week. Now we just wait. That's it. We still haven't got the first presentation. Right now, I have no reason to look for longs. Just right now, yeah, all I'm looking for is a continuation of this sell side delivery into the TGIF down here right now. That could shift at any moment if we can trade above the open at 9:30. That would mean I would need to shift and rather wait. So yeah, that's it. For news, for news, uh, we don't have anything going forward. We have just Trump speaking at 4 p.m. New York time, later in the New York session. So that shouldn't affect us. Mm, President Trump speaks. Yeah, that's it. Ah, okay. What I'm looking at right now is we could possibly jump into the 830 high here. What would that mean? I wouldn't. Now we are entering that territory where you don't try to touch tops within Nasdaq. You once it starts creating new all-time highs. Now, how do I know it's creating all-time highs? Currently, it's not, but the signatures which are trading above this daily inversion and closing above it, just like that on the 1 minute chart, that shows me could very easily possibly disqualify it and keep moving higher and at the all-time high. I'm not saying it has been created or it will absolutely be created, but yeah. This is a bit too small for me, this fair value gap down here to be used as a first presentation. But let's see. Gonna just mark it out for now and see how this one goes. If this one it also closes up, most likely I will be more interested in this as a first presentation than that, which is this one down here. ES is just still accumulating in here. Okay, now we have traded above that. So things, what does that mean? Things are not obvious now. I'm not looking for longs or I'm not looking for shorts unless it gets very obvious that it wants to start moving lower and it have got energy. I don't want to. I'm not going to try to short this because why? It just traded above the consequent encroachment. I mean the 930 open after it traded lower. So all this move lower could be just manipulation so that price could continue moving higher. Especially when we have an SMT with ES down here. So I'm just going to be a bit more careful. Okay, now it needs to show me that it wants to start moving lower below this low. How would it do that? I want to see speed in the next 2 or 3 candles, possibly close below this. I'm not going to use this as anything, but I just want to see it have speed, energy, and stuff. ES is almost at that new all-time high. So if 945 gives me an opportunity to take a long, I won't take it. I won't be able to take it. Why? Because right at open, we just started moving lower. I would rather wait for 10 o'clock and then take the short from there. If it wants to, I mean, take the long from there if it wants to now start moving higher. Okay, how does this go? So as long as this doesn't close above this, and this gives me a CB, I can use that to attack this sell side down here. If this gives me a CB in here, I could look forward for us to take this low again one more time. Now, don't get too greedy, don't get too big. Oh, me, baby. Mm. See how it's reached above the 930 open, but it never closed above it. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, now what do we get here? If this is if a CV, I will need to, that's just a model. I'll need to get in using the fair value gap and look for a short. If this just closes, now, wait a minute. Okay, that's, now I really like the fact that it did that because this low, you see that? That could be the low for the rest of the session. This low right here. So unless price flips and comes back into the down to this low, I won't be able to get in. So this, I'm going to use this as a bear shoulder block. So unless and otherwise we trade below this, I won't be getting into any trade. So I'm going to put a limit order right below this. That is if it closes as a bearish order block. So it did. So I should get in right there. If it now can trade below it. Okay, I'm not in the trade, but let me share the screen. Okay, unless it flips. Yep. Let me try to make it. Unless it, as long as it doesn't trade above this, I'm going to keep on trying to get in below this. Where's my take? Oh my God, that's not the take profit I wanted. Ah, it just failed me right there. So now if it wants to go lower, I'll be looking for this sell side down here. But until it trades below this low, it's nothing is it's a high risk. It's a high risk trade until it's able to trade below this low. Why? Because that was created at 9:45. So yeah, but that was just perfectly as I was anticipating it and as I was looking forward to it. If it stops me out, I'll just wait for it to get obvious. That means things are wibble wobbly for me right now. Yep. Okay. Wibble wobbly for me right now. I don't want to rush into another trade. Instead, I would love to just wait. Wait for wait for 10 o'clock. Okay, there you go. That disqualifies the trade idea. That's right there. So that would disqualify the trade idea. Now I'll just look for a long at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock comes, we get some type of. Okay, give me a second. The PC just pulled up on me. Let me see. So right now, I'm looking for a long swipe because we traded above that right there. The open of 9:45. 760. So as long as we are above this low, I'm looking for longs. But as soon as we 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 we, we trade below that, I'm going to need to shift instead and start looking for shorts towards this again. So because we traded above 9:45's open, I'm going to be looking for buys right now. But before 10 o'clock, if we trade below that, I will again shift my bias into a sell type of program. And see all this move in here, that is just manipulation and accumulation going into the AM session. Mm, So I just don't want to be chopped up in this, trying to long, short, long, short, long, short. I don't want to be just chopped up in here. I'd rather just wait for 10 o'clock from here on out. Mm, okay, that's nice. Now, what I'm interested in is how 951 took out this high. You see how it just took out that high? Now, does it have power and speed above it? Why? Because it was created before 950. That's from 949. Can it stick above it? If it can stick above it, it would most likely reach above this, and for the rest of the AM session, we could continue moving higher. But that I'm just not sticking into anything right now, even though I'm looking for longs. Why? Because it's traded above the 945's open. But I'm just looking at the small signatures, those little signatures. You see that? It should have sticked above it. But look at how it's reacting right now. See how it just reacted after it took that high? Let's head and move lower. That is destroying us. Okay, we're just seeking and destroying in here, and there is no evidence that we're going to move higher for the rest of the session. Interesting, huh? How it waited for not the 950 and the macro opened up with that little high. Nothing significant, it looks like. But that was the only liquidity it took, and immediately we had this snappy type of moves. Now, moves like this, it shows us that something is just the program, the algo is just not running the way it is easily traded. It's just seek and destroy, taking in and taking out traders. What did we do now? We just traded below that. What is that? 945 slow. Okay. After we did, now we took that low. How do we react? Can we have speed below it? Can we get closure below it, bodies, and show us that it wants to keep on moving lower? Or does it just take that? Because why? We have got an SMT with ES down here. Once it takes that, now does it just flip and now start to attack this buy side? Because that is one characteristic of a seek and destroy type of market condition. But the fact that we also have got an SMT with ES down in here, that makes the possibility of this snap move lower just a what do you call it? A manipulation so that it can start moving freely higher. But I'm not saying it has. Now, this low, I'm looking at it. There's no need for price to come back to this low and take it again if it wants to start moving higher. Why? Because it also created an SMT. Of course, unless and otherwise it gets out of this accumulation in here, we're going to stick into the seek and destroy, and we're going to keep on chopping in. So let me just bring this back here to 50, 760. Oh shit. Okay, how am I going to do this now? The copy trader wasn't on when I took the first trade. Okay, I'm just going to turn it on now. Uh, how am I now? That is going to be a nuisance. 760. Okay, how am I going to manage that? Mm, so that would mean on the other two accounts, I'm just going to keep on look. I have it's almost like I haven't taken any trades. But on the one of the accounts that the main account that I copy trade on, that would be one loss. Okay, we just traded below that again. Okay, that's a new sense. How am I going to manage that? Mm, let me see. Okay, so what I will do is enter look for the normal move on the main account, which I copy trade from, and go to the other two accounts and just change my take profit target. I think that's the only thing I could do because what the two other accounts, the first trade, it wasn't copy traded, so I have no losing trades on them. But on just one of the accounts, I have got one loss. Okay, I'll just go to each account and change the take profit target once the trade I get into the trade. Okay, that little fair value gap, how do we use it now? How is it going to be used? Because we're getting closer to 10 o'clock. Small things like this now, your trades not being copy traded across all your accounts and stuff. Those are the things that could easily set you off. For example, yesterday it was the camera going off while I was still streaming, me scrambling around trying to charge it up and everything. That actually put me off. I'm not saying that was the reason why I didn't. why the first trade, only the first trade I took was not according to the model, but but it has its role. Now, my trades actually, because I didn't turn on the copy trader as soon as I opened up the charts and product takes. I'm just trying to tell you guys what could affect you and send you lose and not follow your model because I can see it in me. Now, just because I was scrambling around, now I know I can't go off trading. Now, the first trade I took, it was just perfectly according to the model. I don't regret anything. I would have, if the trade just happened again, I would have just taken it again. If even if I go back. Why? Because that was just perfectly according to the model. But now going forward, okay, you have been affected by a couple of things. Your head might not be straight. Okay, breathe. Breathe, it's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. Just trade as you would normally do. Don't change anything. I'll try to just reaffirm and tell that to myself, and that will calm me down, and I'll just trade as I should. That's how I get myself together. Okay, this fair value gap right now, this little one, I would really love if you could close above it before before 10 o'clock, but it's almost here. And what I would actually do is if we can close above it right now, most likely, let's see. I will just wait for 10 o'clock, and if that closes below it, I'll be able to take the short from there. Why? Because we have traded below what? 8:30. I mean 9:45's low. Okay, there you go. Okay, what do we have now here? Let's see how this closes. Huge. That's huge. But look at how we have been moving since the open at that's just perfect delivery. Even if it comes up in here, I won't be shorting this. Why? Because that's reached into discount, the range discount from this low to that high. That's the discount that I marked out. When are we creating this low down here? It's at 10 o'clock. So what does that mean? If we get a fair value gap, I would use that fair value gap for a sell. Just if we create a fair value gap, unless and otherwise, I won't be trying to short if we reach up into this. That's not the trade I want to be in. But if we can create now a fair value gap in here, I'll try to use that for a short. Okay, as we are doing that, let me see. Uh, okay, it might be tricky. This might be the low of the day for the rest of the session. Why? Because it was created at the sell limit. Uh, okay, it could be a bit tricky because this could be the low of the session going forward. This could get inverted and we could get a buy model, but also that should tag me in. There you go. So I know the risk getting into the trade. Into this trade. Let me see. Can I go to the other accounts? Oh, I cannot. So how am I going to be able to do this? I can only move the take profit and stop loss from the main account. Mm, because that would put me over. my profit target, but let's see how the trade closes. Goes first. To be honest, what I would do is I'll just move it to here, and I'd rather be $250 short on the other account. So that's the trade. It's very annoying. Let's see, what can I do? What if I go to the trade copier and turn it off? Just stop it, and here put my take profit down here. Okay, that's nice. Okay, now I have different take profits for each account. Okay, now what I'm trying to see is, you see how it's respecting that? It could shift from here. It could shift, close above this, and start moving higher. But I'm not going to try to do anything about that. I'll just stick with the trade, especially because we weren't able to trade below this low in here. If it shifts here, what does that mean? This high would be the target going forward. Okay. All this move lower could be just manipulation, so that price could shift and attack this buy side and start moving higher. And that actually makes so much sense. Okay, it should, let's see how it moves here. If it wants to shift, it would just stop me out right there. But unless it can do that, I won't change a thing. I'm happy the fact that I was able to uh, 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 move the take profit on the different accounts into different places though. If it goes below that low, that shows me, there we go. If it now can go below that low, that would show me the next target is going to be this down here. What is that? That is the TGIF, which is the 20 to 30% range of the weekly chart. But it hasn't really done it. It's still respecting this fair value gap in here. So nothing is just certain yet. Five and okay. So these are the accounts. Okay, there you go. That's to take profit on the two accounts. And this is the last account that I took a loss on because it didn't copy trade on the other account. So the two accounts, take profit has already been hit and we're out of the trade. And in here, it is not, it tagged me out because I'm looking for 250 more dollars on this account. So let's see how it goes. So on the other two accounts, I'm done. I'm done for the day, but because it didn't copy trade at the start of the day, it was on a losing trade, and we got two handles away from the take profit, but it didn't take me out. So I'm just waiting for to see how this goes. But the fact that we traded below the low of the the candle at 10:01, that shows me we are now the target has shifted towards this down here. What is that? That TGIF. But because we have got a new week opening gap that we have traded down into right there, and we have seen it react just like that, it could have some resistance going lower. But it should be anyways. The drawn liquidity should be down here. So there you go. That wraps up the week for me. That didn't copy trade first, but I was able to get it working right. There it is. 500, 500, and 500. 495. That's good enough. So the week as it is. The week as it is, it wasn't the best week. I think we just finished the week break even. Yeah, that was a break even week. Last week we made 4K. This was a break even week, or we have lost maybe $100, something like that. But I would say it wasn't the best week, just like I said. NFT weeks and stuff, they're a bit hard for me. And especially when I'm live streaming, the live streams, they have got their toll on me. They have got their spot on me. That they're a bit hard for me. They're a bit trading has gotten a bit more harder for me. Trying to talk, trying to say what I'm doing, trying to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it every single time. I'm still not comfortable with it, and that's affecting my trading. I can see that, but I'm learning how to do it. The week ended break even, but I would say that's a great week. Why? For one, I need 10 trading days to take my next payout. So because by trading days I need to make 150 plus. So getting into the rest of September, I will just need to make 3R. 3R. All I need to take maybe a 6K payout. Yeah, I think it could be a 6K payout or a four no a 7K payout or a 4.5K payout. Getting in September, I just need three winning trades. The whole that's the mindset for me right now. If I can make 3R going into September, I know that's not the hardest thing, but it's trading. Nothing is predictable. So just getting in September, if I can make 3R for the rest of in the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be happy. I can take out bigger payouts. It's going to be 7K or 4.5K, and I'm going to be good with that. So yeah, the streams are have their toll on my head. Uh, trying to do it, but I'm getting accustomed to it. So I wish you all a great weekend, a great week, a great weekend. We'll be back at it on Monday. If there's anything you guys want to see me do or make a video on, let me know down on the chat. So yeah, that was fine. That was good. Anyone, I'm gonna wait. If there's anything you guys want to say for 4 more minutes, and I'll be closing up the stream. My strategy. The strategy. Okay. Okay, my strategy. A video on the strategy, on the model. Let me see. I can't do it over a weekend, but for example, I can go over. It's mainly narrative. So as you guys saw me, I have there are the specific fair value gaps I use. There are the specific order blocks I use. Those I can go through them within minutes. But the strategy is just mainly narrative. I would really love it if we can reach down into this before I close the stream. But uh, it's mainly narrative. From what you guys can see, it's not the model itself. It is narrative. A narrative is not something that could be teach just in a video, in one video. Just looking at me going, okay, now I'm going to shift. Now because we did this, because trading is not completely predictable, it changes. We don't have the same type. We technically have the same type of moves repeating over and over again, but how can you narrate through the markets and moves and shifts? That is the main part. This entry model, I can make a video on that. Sure, I'll make a video on the entry model and the narrative part, which is the streams. These streams are basically the narrative. How I make my narrative. They're all they're all within the streams. That's how I actually trade. So yeah, we'll be back at it on Monday. Hope you guys a great weekend and be safe.